Step through the doors of the grade 8 classroom of Lucy Dale Garno and Angus McIntosh, and you'll witness a learning environment that looks and feels different from many others. All students are equipped with a PDA, or a personal digital assistant. These handheld computers were purchased with a grant from the Saskatchewan Educational Consortium. As part of the Technology Integration Project, or TIPS, students have been using these handhelds to initially focus on improving writing. Although early indications may be difficult to make strong claims that this tool is making a difference, you'll very quickly learn from these teachers and students that the handhelds are definitely creating an excitement and a buzz that's translating into some very interesting discoveries.
Nothing about the Palm handheld. I mean, I knew that people had ordered them. I thought they were sort of a calendar agenda thing, but I had not a clue.
Like getting presents at Christmas, I felt really excited.
They grasped it much quicker than I did. They're not afraid to push buttons. They're not afraid to get in there and just use it. And I'm getting to that point too, actually, where it's not as scary as it was when I first started for myself. I don't think it was ever really scary for the kids. They just get in there, but for me it was. It's so much easier, especially I think with the writing and just student work is organized. They grasped it much quicker than I did.
Well, it makes learning more fun. It's easier to, like, you're more organized with it.
Their editing process is much quicker. I got through 3 lessons in the time that I would have gotten through 1, I'm sure, with them doing their writing. They just seem so much quicker keyboarding their information.
It's made our working easier because we're getting stuff done. We learn more in a short period of time.
So I just see the time constantly being saved, and in the sense, if you're saving time, you are making time to learn more. Definitely they seem more motivated, for sure. Like they're just, even the kids that aren't part of the project but have their palms, because we're sort of split up into different groups, come in and they're like, okay, can I get my palm? And they're using them in the other classes with the other teachers. So it's not like we have to tell them, go get your book. They want to use these palms.
Most kids in our class, like some of the people who didn't really come to school, they didn't want to, they're coming because of technology.
Even a kid the other day was taking his health notes, and it was sort of done in a cycle, and I said, I know that you guys can't really get this to look like a cycle on your palm, but even if you make errors or do what you can. And one kid said, oh, I'm just going to do mine as a slideshow. And he created his notes as a slideshow. Well, you have to know that in the process of doing that, they are understanding the material that much better, because they're really thinking about how they're putting it together rather than just copying it down.
They seem to focus really well on that little piece of technology.
Since we've had these, communication has occurred between students that probably wouldn't occur. They don't have notes. They're saying, well, I'll beam them to you. And typically they wouldn't have offered their paper notes. That sort of been between their friends. But because they're sitting in the same vicinity, I'll just beam them. And so there's communication between groups of kids that wouldn't have typically happened. And they're sharing, these files and Bluetoothing and all these things and then they've learned to do those things together. So it sort of hasn't put this group knows, and they all didn't know, and they all came together and they all learned together. And so it's a beautiful thing, I think.
Palm handheld is just a piece of it. It's a stepping stone to the next step, which might be, you know, one computer for every child and internet access for every child whenever they need it. And this is just the first step.
And I think that we are just starting. Like, we would like to get to where we are doing new things in new ways. I think that we're right now sort of doing old things in new ways, which is good because it's saving time and the kids are more motivated. But I think that we are just sort of getting onto the process where we can start doing some new things in new ways with these palms. Once we have more experience with them, we learn more software. I think it's just opened so many more doors.
A teacher is a teacher, and you can't get away with one. You can't put a Palm handheld on a kid's desk and say, "There, learn." It's like putting a pen and a paper on a student's desk and say, "There, write." You know, there's all the pre-learning activities and the writing practice that needs to be done, and the editing and the guidance from the teacher that's key. And nothing's going to replace that I can see.